I'm Nate Eaton and talking with Keith Morrison today. Keith, a lot of people ask me, so was Keith really interested in the Lori Vallow Daybell verdict?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Was he really? Yes, he really was.
You were texting probably every 5 minutes. What's the latest from the update from the courthouse?
Right.
Were you surprised at all by guilty on all counts?
Not really. You always hold out a little possibility that there may be a wrinkle. Not necessarily because you wanted to be one, but just you never know. Um, but when they all came down guilty, it was not terribly surprising. You could almost, because I listened for the zeitgeist around, and you could almost hear a sigh of relief. People seemed to be very glad about those verdicts.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a sigh. I mean, I was surprised how emotional it was for so many people. I think because there was some worry that she might, get off on some or the others. Plus, it's taken so long. I mean, we're at nearly 4 years of this case. What do you think was some of the most compelling things you saw at the trial?
Well, because you couldn't see the trial.
Or heard about, yeah, I should say, yeah.
Awkward. And that's why I was relying on your eyes and ears to tell me what it was like in there. Some of the material was pretty extraordinary. Um, the friend we hadn't talked to before, what was her name again?
Audrey
Uh,
Aritaria.
I mean, that was riveting, and it was disturbing to say the least. A lot of it was. The phone call with her sister from jail as she was waiting for events to occur. The lies she kept telling. It was quite phenomenal.
Yeah. So from one big Idaho story to another, you're preparing right now for a Dateline 2-hour Friday
Yes.
as news is breaking in the Coburger case this week that, there
Right.
won't be a preliminary hearing. He was indicted. What can we expect to see on Friday?
On Monday, he will appear in court to enter a plea and to be arraigned. Um, and, if he chooses not to enter a plea, they'll enter a not guilty plea for him, although I'm sure that he will plead not guilty. And what we'll see then probably is the actual indictment, which has so far been redacted completely to the point where all we see is the charges against him. They're withholding that. Until the defense has had a chance to look at it and they can present it in court on Monday. And at that time, we'll know a little more. Although experts who have been through this sort of process a time or two have warned that there probably won't be that much more information in the indictment than there already has been in the probable cause statement.
Yeah, we saw that with Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell when they were indicted. It wasn't a big drop of information that came later. And so that will happen Monday. On Friday, you're taking a closer look at this case in general.
Right. On Friday, we are our program is what we know so far. We have learned some things about this case, about the background, about what was going on in Brian Coburger's life, what was going on in his family's life, what may have been happening as the police were finally closing in, what may have been happening in his personal life when he realized that this could happen. All of these things are they're fascinating to know about, but at the same time, we're being very careful to present these bits of information, evidence, call it what you will, with the proviso that here's a man sitting in jail awaiting his trial before a jury of his peers, and he is not guilty until proven otherwise. But it's fascinating, I will tell you that.
It is. There's a fascination. We saw it with Daybell. We're definitely seeing it with Coburger. What is it about the Coburger case you think that's getting so many people interested? I mean, tragically, you have the 4 victims who are young, and it's a large number, but there seems to be more than that, more frenzy, more interest in it.
More than I had ever seen before. The social media aspect of it was phenomenal. And a good deal of the speculating that was being done was completely off base, of course. But some of it wasn't. and some of it is going to be, I think, part of the case against him. The Papa Roger element is fascinating. Some other material that started to come out during the course of the investigation will be very interesting to see play out in court.
Yeah. All right. Dateline NBC, the latest on the Brian Coburger case that airs Friday night on NBC. And if you missed the Daybell one, the Lori Vallow Daybell trial, that's, I know, on the website and on the Peacock app, I believe.
Well, and if you missed the material that Nate put out during the trial and afterwards, you weren't paying attention. That was terrific coverage.
Well, thank you, Keith. And I hope you get some downtime this summer and that you don't have to come back to Idaho. Let's hope for some quietness.
It was a lovely place to be, but quiet in Idaho would be even better, wouldn't it?
Yes. All right. Thank you. Good chatting with you.
Here, Nate.